Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Shaking the Table. All right. Uh, Here we go, y'all. We're here to stir the pot again, challenge the status quo, and bring you bold and unfiltered conversations that make you rethink things that you know about the world of pets and the pet industry. We're not afraid to tackle some of these tough questions and give a voice to all of the sides of the discussion. We have opinions and we want to voice those opinions. So let's grab your seat, hold on tight because we're about to shake things up. What's going on, Telisa? Oh, yeah, and
Not
I'm your host, Wayne.
not too much, not too much. I do want to talk about ethical dog breeding today.
Right.
Because that
And
is
Matt's your friend.
it is matting my fur this week.
Right.
Um, and the reason I want to talk about it is because I had a conversation with a trainer slash breeder about the doodle and the fluffy Frenchie. And
Hmm.
the conversation went a little bit like I asked him what he thought about mixed breeds in general, and he was like, he doesn't care for mixed breeds because you're mixing personalities more so than anything.
Yeah.
Um, he really didn't care about coat types, and because he don't deal with that, he's a breeder, he's a trainer, don't care
Mhm.
about coat types. But
They look for what makes the money,
right.
colors, the exotic factor.
Right. So, for instance, we were talking about the golden doodle. He was like, with a lot of my clients, it's either been like ditzy or crazy aggressive with the
Mhm.
golden doodle because you have this derpy, it was the word that he used, this derpy
Perfect.
golden retriever, and you mix
Uh,
it with this powerhouse personality of a standard poodle, and
yeah.
they come together. And it's never actually like a happy medium of the personalities. It's
Mhm.
always derpy doodle, aggressive doodle. And I told him that was very surprising to hear because I never ran into a doodle that was just outright aggressive. Like
Yeah.
I had this one client that started out like super cool, and then after a couple grooming appointments, he got a little crazy. And
Mhm.
I don't know what happened there. But I do want to get into details and what exactly ethical dog breeding is to see what you think about it.
I got you. Well, just before we even get into that, part of it to me is the breeding and the genetics when it comes to their mental status. But it's also a training thing too, because a lot of people, and as we've seen, like they get these dogs and they get these different breeds, these mixed breeds, and they don't realize all of the maintenance and training that goes into it because training a golden doodle that literally has two breeds in it to create this breed, you have to hit both of those breeds
Yeah.
in training. Whereas when you go to a pit bull or a schnauzer, or you have, some of these more what's the word I'm looking for? These other breeds, like purebred breeds,
Yeah.
um, you already know what their temperament is like. But when you get into the mixed breeds, you have to account for the different types of breeds that's in it. And a lot of people they don't. Like, yeah, you get the derpy ones because I mean that's just what, it's more lab and doodle than poodle, right? And then you
Mhm.
get so and a trainer told me that yeah, they may appear as aggressive, but it's more so reactive because I feel like they're reactive because of the lack of training that they get too, because people don't realize what goes into having a dog of this stature. And the maintenance that comes with it. And then you have those breeders who tell people not to get your dog groomed for a year, not to, brush your dog because your dog is hypoallergenic and it doesn't mat and it doesn't tangle. And you have,
Or shit.
just right. And then it's just like, well, what am I supposed to do now? Because you told me that, this dog is the way that it is, but now that, I'm releasing this dog to the world and the dog is a total nutcase and you didn't tell me everything that I needed to know. So again, devil's advocate, it's on both parties' fault, honestly. The person who bred the dog, person who bought the dog, and both of them not getting the right or receiving or sharing the right information to me.
Yep, and that's where we get into ethical breeding. Why are we breeding these dogs together? Ethical breeding is about prioritizing the health and the welfare of the dog. It's about
Yes.
improving the breed if you're, mixing genetics.
Mhm.
Why did we as a people society decide to mate a golden retriever and a poodle together? Like
Yeah.
what were the benefits in that? What were the benefits
Yeah.
of the lab and the poodle? What
There was
was
a
the
guy
benefits
in
of the Maltese and the mini poodle?
no, for real. There was a guy in I think Australia that started the whole trend and everything like that, and then it came over here or something like that, and now he says he regrets it because it just grew like wildfire. Like it just took off. Like there's F1, B1, A1, C2. I don't know all of these different
And I don't
like
care nothing about your elemental P poodle, oodle,
and now it's
the
like, yeah,
poodle.
you got multi poos, schnauzer poos, Frenchie poos, cavapoos, all of these different poos and oodles and doodles, and then it's just like these people they want this designer breed, but it's literally a summer dog. Some of this, some of that.
That was a good one.
And they expect it to be like the best breed ever, but it's just like, y'all, come on now.
Yeah,
Come on, you know?
yeah.
So getting
So,
into the ethical part of it, it's just like, all right, you get a lot of these dogs that are dropped off at are either abandoned are sent back to God, or they're dropped off at humane societies and things like that. But because they're not getting what they are looking for, and honestly, it's all a cash grab to me because it's like, well, yeah, Frenchies are not supposed to be fluffy, you know. You're not supposed to have all of these exotic colors and different type of patterns and stuff like that with certain breeds because it's not UKC or AKC regulated or accepted. And then people want to pay 10, 20, $30,000 for a dog that is just a
medical bill.
status symbol. Yeah, a medical bill and a status symbol, basically.
I honestly would respect the fluffy Frenchie if they were breeding it for a longer snout. But the
Yeah.
fluffies they're still brachiocephalic. So,
Got
like,
skin
what's the
issues.
point? You just did it for longer hair. Like
Mhm.
the Frenchies already have hair. Like they have the hair they need to survive this world.
And you know what? And that was our fault
And
that
then
they became such a brachiocephalic breed. Like it was literally our fault. I want to say like they used to have longer snouts, but it started dwindling down, and now everybody got these smush face dogs. I feel like at some point somebody bred a pug with something,
it
and
just
that's
took
why
over.
and it just took off from there.
So now you have these medical bills alongside long hair, but you paid $10,000 for the long hair and the medical bill. But then you bring it to a groomer and want a haircut. What are we
and
doing?
then get and then get mad. Well, yeah, especially
I'm
with
not
the
cutting no
fluffy
Frenchie.
Frenchie.
I'm not doing
Especially people. I mean, and granted, everybody has their preference, but people do it. Like they either shave a Frenchie down, or you get a fluffy Frenchie, and then they want a haircut. And I'm like, well, you just paid $10,000 for this
for this
dog,
hair
yeah, for this hair, just so that you can show it off, and then now you want it to get cut off.
because it's still shedding. It's
Oh,
still
absolutely,
Frenchie shed. So the long hair
absolutely,
is still shedding.
yeah.
Like,
Now,
you just got longer strands of hair in your floor now. Like, what are we doing? How
I
did
think at
that
that
change
point
the breed?
you have to breed them with a doodle if you want them hypoallergenic and non-shedding. A fruital, French oodle,
I would quite literally die.
a French oodle, French oodle. Yeah, I wish one of those would come through the shop. It's a fluffy French oodle. Fancy, fancy.
A frutal,
A fruital.
a standard
Yeah.
frutal.
A toy fruital, standard fruital, XL fruital. Okay. It's yeah, teacup fruital.
So now we have all of these people who are getting into breeding.
Hmm.
Um, since we're talking about the Frenchies, we'll continue to talk about the Frenchies. They're forcing their dogs to give birth naturally when, if you care about the health and the standard of the breed, you should have a C-section for any bully breed. But that's not happening.
Hmm.
And they are breeding back to back to back to back, power breeding these dogs.
Yeah,
And
that's unethical.
it's like you're stressing out the dog. Because imagine as a woman being pregnant every year. What?
Mhm.
What?
I was so and even just talking about that, like watching it go back to like Game of Thrones, right? Where it's like their main objective was to prolong the legacy of their name, their house name, right? So if you have a girl, you're gonna keep having girls, girl, 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 girl. You have to keep getting pregnant until you get to a boy, or a male, and then it's like, yeah, that's it. Like I need a male. And that's what these people are doing. Like they're like breed, 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 breed. But it's so stressful on their bodies because you're trying to prolong this lineage and see what you could get out of it. But it's not to me and those that constantly do it over and over because there has to be a time period in between breedings to me if you are knowledgeable if you are responsible about it you're going to breed your breeding female maybe 3 or 4 times over a span of three
A lifetime.
years so yeah right 3 4 years
The
and
prime
that's
part
the
of the lifetime. Yeah.
yeah the prime time to do it right not why should a dog come in that said, all right, she had 8 litters in the last 2 years? And I'm like, how, first of all. And then it's like 5 6 7 8 puppies each time. Like that's so much stress on their bodies. And then when they're done with it, then they just want to push them off to the side and start all over with another female. Like that's unethical to me. And again, if you're going into it with the mindset of I am doing something better for the lineage of this breed, then cool. But like you have to take care of your breeding stock, basically. Like you gotta be responsible with it. And if you're not responsible, that's why there's so many like negative like things to say about breeders when it comes from veterinarians and groomers and every pet sitters, anybody in the pet industry, because there's so many breeders, there's so many people that wake up and just say, I want to be a breeder today, but they're not doing anything proper to take care of their breeding program,
Hmm.
which sucks
So
because
now
now
the
we got
puppies
to
are
take
here.
care of it.
So now the puppies are here, right? The puppies
Hmm.
are here. They've been bred. Now we're dealing with puppies coming out with medical issues. We're having puppies coming out and going to people's homes without their puppy shots. No dewormers happening. They're charging all of this
Misinformation.
money to be able to breed these dogs, but they're not doing the medical care that it takes for them to be healthy. There are no health screenings happening with a lot of these people who wake up and say, hey, I want to breed my dog because my dog is cute, but your
Hmm.
dog's an asshole. I have
I gotta
clients.
drop.
I have clients who are like, I'm gonna breed this dog, and I'm as transparent as possible. Please don't. Please don't.
And it's same, especially with poodles. Like I've had clients that one person will have a doodle and the other person will have a poodle, and they're like, "Well, yeah, I want to breed them together." But then I see how you treat them. I see how often you get them groomed. I see how well behaved or misbehaved they are. And then I'm like,
You can't educate anybody
is it really
on how
my
to.
huh?
You can't educate anybody. You like you're not even a good enough pet parent to educate anybody else to be a good pet parent.
And then I can't even give my opinion on it because it's like, well, don't tell me how to take care of I always think about don't tell me how to take care of my kids, you know?
But
Like,
you're a
if that's
pet
what I got them for.
professional. You can
Yeah,
definitely tell somebody how to take care of their dog. You have a degree. You can tell somebody how to take care of their dog.
I don't care if
Period.
I got a degree. They don't care that I have 12 years of
They
experience.
don't
They
have
don't
to
care that I went
care,
to school
but
for
you
this.
can. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can.
I
You got a piece of
share
paper
the
that says,
information.
I can say this shit and I can say it out loud.
True. True. Very true. Till I'm blue in the face. But yeah. I just need people to understand like when if you're gonna breed your dog, like make sure that you are doing the research for it. Make sure you are educated and you have everything that you need because like you have a team of people, you have a veterinarian that supports you. You have the proper space, you have the vaccines, you have the history, you have the paperwork, you got papers on the dogs. Like become legitimized, get an LLC for it. Like, just get legitimized when it comes to the things that you want to do because if you're going to be an expert at this, if you're going to be somebody that people need to trust, it shouldn't be something that you're just doing as well. I mean, it's a hobby, but it's not something that you should just be doing at a whim just to just make some money. Like these are lives that
Yeah.
we're taking care of. Like it's not just any other dog. Like no, these are legit living, breathing, feelings, emotional creatures that trust us to take care of them. And if people aren't, knowledgeable enough to say, "Hey, I shouldn't do this," or I should stop at this point and just going in it for the money, then they honestly need their dogs taken away because now we got those reactive backyard bred doodles that want to bite us in the face because they don't know that
I
a
definitely
brush and
want
a
no
comb is
fire.
their best friends. They're scared of water. Okay, they don't know how to act on a leash and it's not so much as training half the time, but it's literally their brain is probably not there. You know what it
Oh
could
yeah.
be too?
Ain't nothing between the ears. Nothing between the ears.
We were talking about it in the shop the other day. Some of these dogs might have autism. Some of them might have autism. That's what we're just going to name it. We're going to name it autism. Some of these dogs have autism. Some of these dogs have
Trademark pending.
right. PDHD. Okay. They have PDHD and they might have Pound syndrome. Okay. Like, and it is what it is. At this point, we just got to accept them for who they are.
Bro, I need a t-shirt ASAP.
That's just it is what it is. We just got
I
to
need a
accept it
t-shirt
at this
ASAP.
point. Yeah. Your dog might have autism. Does your dog have autism? Does your dog have PDHD? Does your dog have Pound syndrome?
I need
Hey,
a t-shirt
I'm just a
ASAP.
professional. I'm just a messenger. Okay. Hey, I'm just a messenger.
ASAP. Do you hear me? But
So
okay, so real quick, I do want to get into internet purchases of dogs, puppies.
yeah.
Um, like a lot of people are just buying dogs off the internet. And with
Mhm.
that being said, you have to question the breeder. Like, why does the breeder not want to meet you? Why does the breeder not want to meet the person they're giving their puppies that they work so hard for?
Mhm.
And why don't you want to meet the breeder and see what kind of environment that the puppy is being brought into? Why
True,
don't you want to
especially
know
if you're
what the parents of the puppy look like?
mhm,
Like, you just want a puppy, you get on the Google, you purchase one, like, and then your dog got parvo.
right. Or it's super skinny and it's not the same dog that you paid for. So now you upset. Like I had a client come in, it was a brown schnauzer a few weeks ago, a beautiful little dog, like beautiful brown schnauzer. Like I posted it on the page and they said that they went to either Alabama or Tennessee for it. And I respect that because like they actually went out to go see the dog, see the litter, see where they're at, see the parents, get the paperwork. They made the investment to go out there and do it. And it's a beautiful dog, like very well behaved. Like even though it was its first groom, like it was just like, yo, this is a really good dog, and that's what it's about. Like when it comes to like that, like you shouldn't just rely what people are saying over the internet to be like, hey, send me videos, send me pictures, I'm gonna send you my money and then call it a day. And then half the time that's how people get scammed anyway, because they're like, I want to buy a dog and okay, send me a deposit. And then now you'll never hear from that person again. And so many people were getting scammed, especially during COVID,
Yep.
because nobody was traveling, nobody was meeting up with each other, but everybody wanted a dog because it was
They were
such a
hard.
time where everybody was stuck at home. So I don't know why people are so trusting over the internet, but it's just like, nah, that's the easiest way to lose your money, bro.
And that's how you end up with a dog. They end up going to the shelter because you thought you was getting a schnauzer. The dog grow up to be a 60-pound pit bull.
Yeah, right, right.
You
No,
get a
and I
puppy this
literally had
little,
somebody
and
that
then it turned out to be this big.
now that is a whole different breed. And I had somebody who was like, yeah, when I purchased it, like they told me it was gonna be a small dog or a small, what
I get
was it? It
that
was
with the
like a
doodles all the
yeah,
time.
and I get it with like the shepherds. So like I had somebody that was like, oh, no, I saw the mom and the dad, and the mom and dad was like 60, 70 pounds. And then now I have this little shepherd that won't get over 25 pounds, and she's 3 years old. So it's like, yeah, no, they definitely didn't show you the right information because, yeah, the
Mhm.
puppies look like German Shepherd puppies or Malinois puppies, but you have this mixed breed that you paid this money for, and it's not a German Shepherd. Like it's not, at least not 100% or so. So all of that, I mean, really, honestly, to say is just like when it comes to breeding, when it comes to ethical breeding on the breeder side, um, be honest. Be honest, be knowledgeable, become the expert in your field. If you want people to trust your breeding program, then you need to do the research. You have to get certified. You have to, position yourself as somebody who really cares about the breed, who cares about what the breed standard is. They do their research, they have a professional breeding program. Like you are a legit business person when it comes to your breeding program, not just somebody that's just doing it for the money on the side because again, you aren't knowledgeable about the things that you need to do. And then you end up with malnourished dogs, you end up with dogs that, puppies that are sickly, they don't have everything that they need, they end up with hip problems, joint problems, parvo
I'm saying that
issues,
a lot.
and
Doodles with
it's just
hip
like,
problems, and
yeah,
they're barely 2 years old. Yeah, I'm saying that
right.
a lot.
Because they're getting these bigger dogs, these XL bullies and these XL doodles, and they're not, checking their hips, or they're not starting them on multivitamins, or they're not starting them on joint supplements at a young age. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with starting them on joint supplements at a younger age because they're going to
That's what
grow
they
and they're
need, then
going
that's
to
what they
have
need.
hmm?
I could say, yeah, because if that's what they need, that's what they need.
Right. And people don't think about that. Like we go through growth spurts and we hurt. Like our bodies literally hurt because it's trying to accommodate for the space and the growth. Same thing with puppies. You got to make sure that they get the right exercise, the right nutrients, the right food, the right everything. And that's what I'm, and then we're able to, you know, you have an ethically service breeding program to be. What are your last thing, your last words on it? I mean, I feel like I kind of just closed that out. So
You did.
so go
You
ahead.
did. You did. You closed it out. Said all that to say this. Pet parents, please do your research. Be more responsible. You want healthy
Yeah.
dogs. You want a well-bred dog. Do your research. Just because somebody says they're a breeder doesn't mean they're looking out for the best interest of the dog or for you.
Mhm.
So
Right.
let's
Go
do
see
better.
that. Go travel. Go see them.
Yes, please. Let's
If
do
you're spend if you're gonna spend thousands of dollars on a dog, you need to go see them. Plain and simple. All right. Well, that was another episode of Shaking the Table. I hope that just made you think about the breeding game. And it's not just like it's not to say like we don't support breeding. It's just if you're going to do it right. Do it right.
most of my money off of making breed dogs, so I'm not gonna flex.
I'm not, hey, that's what we get. We, as a groomer, we love to see the purebreds, but we also understand that there's a big market for mixed breed dogs. So if you're gonna do it, just do it right, do it ethically, be knowledgeable, do your research on both ends, and just make sure that you get the right pet care team to take care of these dogs. So if you do have any comments or opinions on the matter, definitely write that in the chat, write that, in the comment section, and just let us know what you think. Otherwise, there's another episode of Shaking the Table. We shook things up. We started the conversation. Let's go ahead and educate these folks on how to ethically get these dogs and breed these dogs so that we can stay in business. All right, y'all. It's been another week.
Chris,
We'll catch y'all next week.
that was good.